The year is 867. I rule the counties of Alpsea and Brixen. My motto, lies used carefully are but the instruments of truth. That's how I see it. I will be Duchess or I will have lied. I am Countess Von Cham. My first step will be to find a suitable husband. I first consider a man with an unpronounceable name. Something Macmail. I think he was Irish. But I am put off by his age and quickly turn my attention inwardly. There is this rather young man who's the third son of Count Ingleshaw. He named him after himself. He would make a suitable husband as well as establish an alliance with the Count, thus giving me access to his army of thousands. This might be helpful later. I guess I will marry his son. At least, he's a skillful steward. With that fresh alliance in the making, I order the training of some heavily armored infantrymen. I also begin plans to sway my liege, Prince Carlman. He is in a good position to take the throne of East Francia. If I have a king on my side, I am sure to guarantee my safety. And of course, Angleshaw accepts my marriage offer. Who wouldn't want to have their son married to me? A year passes, and the king of East Francia has died. My liege establishes his own kingdom, but does not take over the rest of East Francia. We simply gain some form of independence. Right in time, too, because the kingdom of Lotharingia has just declared war on the kingdom we previously belonged to. Lucky me. I won't have to deal with a war just yet. At the end of my second year of rule, I am invited by Count Horton to a hunt organized in his domain. I accept. There is always good in seeing how another vassal fares. Something good might come out of this. We set off into the mountains with a guide and some mercenaries I purchased. My caravan master is worried we will not make it in time, but I tell him to push on. I leave my newly-wed husband in charge while I'm away. He is not the most loyal regent I could have chosen, but he can't cause too much trouble in just a month. I arrive in time for the hunt, and it begins. As I explore the forests of this county in search for a stag, I discover a hidden cottage where a handsome man invites me to stay and rest. I am surprised to find I have so many things in common with this peasant, and as I start to worry about returning to the hunt, he pleads with me to stay. We enjoy a magical time together. This is the first time I have ever felt this. Once the moment ends, we linger, and I can't help but think that I want this to last. I ask if he wants to come stay at my court, but he refuses, and I am forced to return to the hunt, alone. The hunt ends abruptly when a war is declared against the Count, and I return to my dominion. As I arrive, I realize that I am with child, but I have not slept with my husband over the last weeks. It is best that I keep this to myself. Back home, during my pregnancy, I start to look for leverage on my king, who has now inherited the kingdom of East Francia, while I had left for this hunt. I also instruct my bishop to look for a justification on the title for the county of Innsbruck. My son is born on the 7th of December, 869, and I name him Sebastian. He is going to be a handsome man. I tried to keep it a secret from his real father, Plas, but he notices. He knows. This might be a problem. In the meantime, I meet this beautiful barkeep. His physical appeal convinces me to spend some time with him. We become lovers as a result of our night together, and I invite him to come stay at my court. But I do not forget Plas, who's always on my mind, and my son always reminds me of him. I think of going after him, but I quickly push this idea aside. I need to focus on my dynasty, on my counties. I make my new lover my chancellor. Being a talented diplomat, he should fit right in. I also begin seducing my own husband. Nobody ever likes me too much. And I make my lover the guardian of my son, because he is a skilled strategist, something I would like my son to learn. It is towards the end of the year 870 that I manage to acquire a claim on the county I covet. I wait for my finances to recover from the bribe I was forced to make to acquire my claim, and I declare war on my neighbor. I call in my husband's father because I need his army of 1,000. Without waiting for their arrival, I ask for my general to lay siege on the castle of my enemy and hope for the best. Our two armies meet on the 10th of April, 871, without my reinforcements being in range. The battle is brutal and hard-fought. It rages on for days. One morning, I am informed that my lover and chancellor has died valiantly. He served his liege well. The battle is won on the 11th of June of that year, and my army begins to lay siege on the castle in Innsbruck. After this, I finally seduce my husband, and we become lovers. He was wounded during that battle, but he is alive. The castle is sieged down on the 4th of January, and I enforce my claim, making me the proud owner of 3 counties. Meanwhile, my king has died, and his sons split the 2 kingdoms among themselves. Ludwig, my new king, is only 4, and he is the king of Bavaria. Maybe I can use this to my advantage. At least he cannot be too nosy while I expand my holds within his kingdom. On the 7th of November, 872, I hear of this terrible disease spreading across the lands bordering my own. The Bavarian pox is making me nervous, so I send for a physician immediately. Meanwhile, I hear that Prince Karl of Swabia has converted to a new faith, iconoclasm. A movement begins, starting with him and many others consider converting. I see no advantage in doing so. But perhaps in the future, I could form my own religion. The plague has now spread to my lands. Worse, it has spread to my home domain. I ask for a physician to be found immediately. I am forced to isolate the capital. 4 potential physicians come to me, but neither of them look very capable. I have to choose one though, so I pick the one that sounds more able than the rest. I ask that he uses a safe approach to treat the plague, and he is successful so far. However, the plague is in my city, and I cannot stay idle. I am forced to go into seclusion with my family. I cannot put my son or my pregnancy at risk.